You just lied to my face, and you didn't even blink. That's the moment everything shifted. Not the edited version TLC aired with dramatic music and a tight close-up. I'm talking about the raw exchange between 90 Day Fiancé cast members Lisa and Daniel, where the entire K1 fairy tale cracked in real time. Because up until that second, a lot of fans still believed Daniel was just misunderstood. A cultural gap. A language barrier. Maybe even producer manipulation. But when Lisa held up those screenshots and said, "Explain this," Daniel didn't look confused. He looked rehearsed.
And if you've watched this franchise long enough, you know exactly what that means. The K1 visa process already puts couples under a microscope. 90 days. Pressure from immigration. Pressure from family. Pressure from strangers online who think they know your relationship better than you do. But here's the part TLC cameras didn't show: the lie wasn't about another woman. Not exactly. It was about money. Again, I know what you're thinking. Not another 90-day scammer storyline. But listen to this. Lisa had been defending Daniel on every subreddit, in every comment section, even when fans on Reddit were digging up old Facebook profiles with different birthdays, different job titles, different relationship statuses. She called it jealous ex behavior. She blamed trolls. She said people were trying to sabotage their love. Then those screenshots popped up. Direct messages. Promises. The same romantic script he used on Lisa, copy-pasted almost word for word to at least 2 other women overseas. And this wasn't from 5 years ago. This was during the K1 process. This is where the 90-day dream quietly fell apart. Because the moment you realize you weren't special, you were strategic, that hits differently. And before we go deeper, if you're the type who reads between TLC edits and catches the stuff producers hope you miss, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and join the community. We don't just watch the show, we decode it. Now here's where it gets messy. Lisa confronted Daniel off camera first. That part leaked later through a mutual friend's Instagram live. According to that source, Daniel didn't deny sending the messages. He said they were business networking. Business. On a dating app. With heart emojis. Fans on X were brutal. One viral post said, "Daniel switched from fiancé to financial advisor real quick." Another said, "Scammer 101, deny, deflect, then blame the American." And guess what? That's exactly what happened. When the confrontation finally aired, Daniel flipped the script. Suddenly Lisa was controlling. Suddenly she didn't understand his culture. Suddenly she was embarrassing him on camera. It was textbook. If you've seen past seasons, you recognize the pivot. We've watched it happen with different names, different accents, same strategy. But here's the detail TLC barely touched. The money transfers. Reddit detectives, and you know they don't sleep, pulled public transaction timestamps that Lisa had once bragged about during a live Q&A. The dates matched almost perfectly with the dates Daniel was messaging other women. That's not coincidence. That's overlap. So while Lisa thought she was supporting her future husband during visa delays, Daniel was allegedly building backup plans.
That I'm excited for
I
our
know
future.
that sounds
Me
harsh.
too.
But when someone uses identical pet names for
too, it's
multiple
perfect.
women,
I love
that's
you.
not romance.
I love you
That's
too.
formatting. And this is the part that hurts the most. Lisa wasn't naive. She was invested. She defended him against her own friends. She argued with her sister on camera about trusting her heart. She sat through immigration interviews, answering invasive questions about intimacy and finances, because she believed in the relationship. The K1 visa process isn't just paperwork. It's emotional exposure. You have to prove your love to a government officer who looks at you like you're a potential fraud. And now imagine finding out the person you're fighting for might actually be running a playbook. That confrontation scene. Watch Daniel's body language again. He doesn't look betrayed. He looks annoyed. Annoyed he got caught. But here's the twist that split the fandom in half. Some viewers think Lisa overreacted. There's a strong camp online arguing that TLC stitched together unrelated messages. That production amplified minor flirting into a scandal. That Daniel was under pressure and made stupid but not malicious mistakes. A few fans even pointed out that Lisa had a history of jealousy issues in past relationships, something she briefly mentioned during a confessional. So was Daniel reverting to Scammer 101? Or was this a relationship imploding under reality TV pressure? This is where it gets uncomfortable. Because the leaked DMs weren't the only red flag. There were inconsistencies in Daniel's job history. On the show, he claimed steady employment. Off-show records suggested long gaps. When a fan asked about it during a live session, he laughed it off and said Americans care too much about paperwork. But paperwork is literally the foundation of the K1 process. This is where the 90-day dream quietly fell apart again, not with screaming, not with a dramatic walk-off, but with doubt. Slow, creeping doubt. And here's the detail that barely anyone caught. During the confrontation, Lisa says, "I sent you money because you said your account was frozen."
That's
That
the
line
part that
flew
hurts
by.
the most.
No follow-up question from
Because
producers.
if you only watch their
No
Instagram,
breakdown.
their
Just
TikToks,
tension
the
music
filtered
and a
selfies
cutaway
and
shot.
airport reunions,
Why was his
you
account
would swear
frozen?
this was one of the
That
rare
question
success
exploded
stories
on
from
Reddit
90
within
Day
minutes of
Fiancé.
the episode airing.
Smiles.
Some users speculated
Inside
unpaid
jokes.
debts. Others suggested
Hashtags
banking
about
issues
forever.
common in his region.
Soft
But no
music
clear
playing over
answer
slow
ever
motion
surfaced.
kisses.
Daniel's response.
But real life?
You offered. That's
Real
a
life
subtle
was
shift
quietly
of
cracking
responsibility.
underneath all of it.
Not, "I needed
And
help."
TLC never
Not,
really showed you
"Thank
that.
you." Just,
You felt
you
it,
offered.
though.
Scammer 101
I know you
rule
did.
number 2. Never
That
admit
weird
dependency.
disconnect between what they
Frame
posted
it
and
as
what we saw in
generosity
certain
from the other
scenes.
person.
The tension
Now
that lingered
here's where
just a
things
second
get
too
even
long.
more complicated.
The smile
After
that
the
didn't quite
episode
reach
aired,
the eyes.
Daniel posted a cryptic
Social
message on
media showed
Instagram.
love.
The truth will come out.
Reality told another
No
story.
explanation, no context, just that line. And suddenly, fans started digging into Lisa's past too. Old posts resurfaced showing her talking to multiple international men before Daniel. One thread suggested she had been seeking relationships abroad specifically. That doesn't make her guilty of anything, but it reframes the narrative. Was she chasing a fantasy? Was he exploiting that fantasy? Or were they both playing roles? I know what you're thinking, this is messy. Exactly. That's why this confrontation feels different from typical 90-day drama. It's not just about cheating. It's about intention. When Lisa said, "I don't know who you are anymore," it didn't feel scripted. It felt like someone realizing the version of their partner they fell in love with might have been curated. And Daniel's final line in that argument, "You don't trust me, so maybe this can't work." That's the emotional pivot. Because instead of rebuilding trust, he questioned the relationship itself. It's a subtle but powerful maneuver. If you challenge me, I question us. Fans are divided. Half say Lisa finally woke up. The other half think she sabotaged her own relationship by listening to online noise. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Without those Reddit sleuths, would she have ever known? This is the modern layer of 90 Day Fiancé. The audience isn't just watching anymore. They're investigating. And the K1 visa clock doesn't stop for emotional clarity. 90 days. Marry or separate. Decide whether to legally bind your life to someone you're not sure you recognize. This is where the 90-day dream quietly fell apart for the third time, not in a single explosive scene, but in the silence afterward. No cute airport goodbye, no dramatic reconciliation montage, just distance. Daniel went quiet online for a few days. Lisa stopped posting couple photos. And when fans asked directly if they were still together, both avoided a clear answer. Avoidance is an answer. So here we are. Was Daniel caught in a calculated lie, reverting to a pattern he'd perfected long before cameras rolled? Or was he a flawed man crushed by scrutiny, reacting defensively and making everything worse? And what about Lisa? Did she ignore early red flags because she wanted the fairy tale to be real? Or did TLC amplify minor mistakes into a storyline built for ratings? The scariest part is this: sometimes in the 90-day universe, there isn't a clean villain. Sometimes it's two people clinging to different versions of the same fantasy. But that screenshot moment, that was real. You can't fake the micro expressions of someone realizing they've been outmaneuvered. So I'll leave you with this. If trust is already fractured before the wedding, before the green card, before the legal commitment, what happens after the cameras leave? Does love survive suspicion? Or was this relationship built on a script from the very beginning? Tell me what you think. Was this the ultimate exposure of a scammer, or the tragic collapse of a relationship under pressure?